ziua, bine ați venit, revenit. La panelul de discuție avem o invitată nouă, un nou panel pe care nu îl voi modera eu, așa că am să trec în limba engleză, limba care se va desfășura discuția. And I would like to introduce Mihai, who's going to be the host today, and his guest, our guest, Sabine Muller. Did I say it correct? Yes. Let's give it a hand for her. And we're going to have a Q&A at the end. Just wait for my microphone if you have questions in the end. Hello.
Okay, so Sabine is from Lookout Games. You most probably know Lookout Games, you know these games, and you know a lot of other Lookout games, but you know the newest ones are Editura, for example, and all the Patchwork line and but I'm leaving Sabine to tell you their games.
Hello, pleased to be here. Thanks for the invite. It's a great way. Great audience here so far. Everybody's having fun with playing games. And this is what board games are about. So this made Hanno Gerke and Uwe Rosenberg found Lookout Games way back 23 years ago, precisely. Uwe Rosenberg went to the game together with Hanno Gerke, made Bonanza, some of you might know, and they sold it to Amigo, and this was their first hit. It was really a hit. But they had several ideas for Bonanza, and Amigo said, well, look, we're doing fine with Bonanza, we don't want any other ideas from you, we are interested in other designers and other games, so go ahead. But they keep pestering them and asked, can you do them on our own? And this was the moment where Lookout Games was founded by Uwe Rosenberg and Hanno Gerke. And just 1 year later, they published Agricola in a few years later, Agricola in 2007. And it became a huge hit. So most of you probably know Agricola, and this was the founding stone of Lookout Games' success, being a full-time job even for Hanno, and enabling Uwe Rosenberg to earnestly think about making a living from designing board games.
He started making the living out of designing board games only after Agricola, not from Bonanza.
Not from Bonanza, no, definitely not. The most income from Bonanza still is with Amigo, so not with Lookout.
So what are your novelties?
This year novelties are in fact 5. It's Tipperary, another tile-laying game with polyominoes, not by Uwe Rosenberg and not by Phil Walker-Harding, but by German designer 𝐥𝐿. This game is located in Ireland, and you're puzzling your polyominoes around the center of your village to make a big rectangle. You can collect sheep. Sheep is a very popular theme with Lookout Games. The second game is maybe one of the hits of Essen Fair, who was at Spiel, who knew it was sold out completely. It's a nature-themed game. It's a card game where you're building your very own forest by very young designer Kosch, also a German designer, who designed this game specifically for his significant other, who's a biologist. And he was awake at night and thinking, how can I think about a game that might please her and add to her field of operation? And well, of course, it has to be with animals. And I said, okay, forest. And it was the idea, and it took him 3 days to develop this game. But this was not the whole story, of course. You all know designing a game takes way more. It's not just the idea. It's building a prototype, research, playtest again, get feedback, playtest a lot more, get more feedback. Think about all the feedback you can get, but don't let it get to your heart too much. consider what this feedback might mean for the game, for the fun of the playtesters. And watch your playtesters, do they having fun with the game? And with this, and with Tipperary, I can tell you they had a lot of fun. Still, as a publishing house, the financial risk is with us. So of course, our editor team has to do modifications from our point of view. So this was originally designed to be in Scotland. So the original title we're going to work with was called Află. But with Lookout, we already have 2 games settled in Scotland. It's 𝐒𝐚𝐲𝐿 and Glasgow. So our editor said, a 3rd game in Scotland? We're a German publishing house. No, it has a theme with pastures, with sheep, with stone circles, and whiskey. Whiskey, yes. Sheep and whiskey. And rely on that. So we switched it to Ireland. And we were looking for a county, and there was this old song, Tipperary, so that's why it's called Tipperary. In the original design of 𝐿 there were lochs and rivers and fishing involved, which was way too complicated for a family game. So we skipped this completely. And this was okay when Hannah decided this has to be Tipperary, and we couldn't pick any other county name. But Tipperary, in fact, is the only county in Ireland having no loch and no rivers at all. So even this fits the team in the end, but it wasn't meant to be. So just a coincidence. And one of our main hits, you probably know, is Patchwork, which will have its 10th anniversary next year. If I'm mean, I would say the original Patchwork looks that way. It's 10 years old. But this does not apply to a curriculum which is 16 years old and it's still in the heart of so many of you. So it's a great game, but it has a perfect fit to the themes the same. Replacing polyominoes on a grid, like if you're doing a quilt, when you're doing the actual patchwork cloth. But the great thing about the curriculum is you can put any national theme. There are so many great patterns around the world. So you can do any theme and any pattern set on this game and it still works and helps people get to know board games better if they can. Remember and recollect their great patterns they grew up with. So that's why we have a lot of patchwork, including Patchwork Halloween and Patchwork Valentine's Day and Winter Age.
Christmas, yes.
Yes.
Christmas, yes.
It goes by winter because not for everybody it's Christmas. So.
I have the Christmas one.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're a well-known publisher and you publish the new games are from somehow unknown designers.
Yes, that's true. We don't go with Google only because Mr. Rosenberg is a very busy person. He's got a lot of ideas and a lot of his ideas fit with Lookout Games portfolio, which applies to any other designer. So, Lookout Games is a studio we're concentrating and focusing on mid-weight to heavy Euro games like Agricola, Corona, Hallertau, Muller, and also thinky, fast, spicy to-play games like Patchwork, Glasgow, Mandala, and the new patterns. You also find this Grand Austria Hotel by Italian designers, so Uwe Rosenberg is not our only designer, God heavens, this wouldn't do.
My question is, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know this, as I see designers in the public, how do you, I'm sure you get a lot of
Submissions?
submissions, yes, or designs that you have to sort them out very quickly. You don't have time to look in detail to all of them. And so what's your first thing that makes you look further into it? Because you most probably dismissed most of them on the first look.
The main spot is, yes, we get a lot of submissions. At least that's 2 per week, and in high times it's 17 per month. So prior to Essen, we get a lot of requests and a lot of submissions. The main part, the crucial part for any publishing house is communication. So any designer reaching out to a publishing house, please check the portfolio. Take a closer look, what kind of games are these people publishing? Are they into children games? And I have an idea for a Euro game. This won't fit. So spare yourself the time and the answer if you get one. Muller has a small editor team with 3.5 persons. The half person will join the editor team full by January. So I'm working just with one leg in that department until we switch. Due to the heavy workload they have, because our editors not only are the first spokesperson you go to with your designs, they have the say if your pitch is good and fits our portfolio or not. So if you're taking the time to look into a publisher's portfolio, you know your game might fit or might not. Still, if it does not fit, this publisher might be on the lookout for a specific game with that theme, mechanism, or background idea. So don't avoid sending them anything, but make it quick. On our website, we have submission guidelines. You can find this. It's a small document with 2 pages, telling you everything you have to know if you want to place a submission with Muller Games. It tells you where we are, what games we are looking for, and what games we are not looking for. There are certain patterns and themes we are not doing. We are not doing children's games, we are not doing anything related to politics or cultural themes. We're not doing war games. We do a lot of trading games, yes, that we do. Guilty.
Lots of sheep. Lots of sheep.
And lots of sheep, yes. Sheep's are mandatory. Sheep are mandatory, yes. Not in every game, but some lookout fans like if they find a new game like Jocurile and say, oh, there's sheep in it. Yes. And our editors have a hard job. They do not only do all the playtesting with any prototype, they do all the development of a game they agreed on, working on together with the designer. So if you're doing a pitch, keep it brief. Make a 1-page sales paper where you put everything essential together. Peer group, how many components you think about, age, how long does it usually take, is it for 2, 3, 4, 5 players, and give a brief submission by video. Maybe a handy video will do just fine. Just a few words, who you are, what inspired you to do this game, and how the game works. Just a few sentences. No lengthy things, this hasn't to be very pro, but put your soul in it. And tell us why this is a game we have to publish. This is what we want. And if you tell us why you want to be published with Lookout Games or with any other publishing house you're approaching, this might help too. But the editor in charge will take his email account and dig into it and say, okay, it's my name only. 20 submissions in. Oh my God. And we have a meeting at 10. Yeah? So you're on the back of a list. Send it midweek, not on the weekends. Monday is a bad day to check submissions. So they will be late to Tuesday. Don't send prototypes unrequested, because nobody can guarantee this actually reaches the editor or the publishing house, and when it's lost, it's your loss, and maybe ours too. If our editors dig into all your emails, okay, it's not only emails, you can also approach Lookout by events. Not only Essen, Lookout Games is at several events around Germany during the year. We always announce this on our social media channel. And if you want to pitch at one of these events, send us an email in advance, so we actually can take care. There is a time slot of maybe half an hour for you, so we can present your game in person, which helps to answer questions.
But to get to that time slot, to that half an hour time slot, you have to have a very good set sheet.
Yes.
Because you won't get it from the 70 submissions a month, you won't get that half an hour.
You want to be the one to get the half hour. So, you know, this is my publisher, this is my kind of game, and I think we might fit together.
Do you know from the 70 per month, how many get that half an hour?
It's hard to tell. We had a very good outcome at Spiel this year. I think the team took home 15 to 17 prototypes, which is a lot.
Out of 200?
We see. We see. No, not all of them get published at the end. So we take care to give you feedback. So if your submission doesn't fit our actual portfolio, we will tell you so within a few weeks. It might take a while because of that many submissions. But we take our responsibility as publishers very, very early to give you at least feedback. So mostly you will hear this is too similar to other games, or it might be we are actually working on a game that's with a similar theme or mechanics, or it's way too close to games, popular games already on the market. So if it's a special theme that's not on our published list, we won't do it either. We won't do a reprint of the columnists, for example, due to the discussions that developed properly during the last years about this period in our history. So we know it's a great game. Others changed the theme completely and kept the mechanics as it was, like 𝐒𝐚𝐻𝐬 from 𝐿𝐴, which got a new theme added on it, a perfectly fine game, because even they didn't want to reprint. Yeah? Because we don't want to have all the discussions again and again, and with the internet and everybody having a very, very severe opinion on everything. You don't want to fight any discussions. We want published games you actually love to put on the table and you have fun with. So if you're designing a game, I think you and all the playtesters have a lot of fun with and enjoy playing. Reach out to any publisher you think this might fit. So I think 95% of the submissions we get per year are rejected due to one or the other reason. Because sometimes it's quite funny, you get within a month submissions to a similar theme with a similar mechanic from 5 different people. Because yes, even the wheel was not invented from one person. Yeah? Players, excellent minds think alike is my motto. So each player, when playing a game, thinks, I would have put a tweak on this or that. I could improve that. I could do that way better. I see these, especially with many of these very, very shiny, glossy Kickstarter stuff, whereas you, wow, this looks great, and you try to play it there, and the rulebook is, oh my god, did they need this? What can this mean? Are you serious? So there's a lot of work to invest in the game, not only from the designer, but also from the publisher. It takes a lot of hours to make a good idea from the designer to a brilliant game like Editura, Patchwork, or even Mission.
So this is the most important thing that, I think from what you told us, that no idea is original, and your idea probably 5 other people had your idea. So it matters a lot how much you worked on it before sending it to a potential publisher. Because if you have a great idea but you don't work enough on it before sending it, it may get lost. And it's a big difference for you to get lost.
The main question our editors always tell you will be, why should we publish your game? What makes your game unique? What makes it stand out in a crowd of similar games? What is the unique twist you added? What is your main idea? If it's the theme, this can be. With Patchwork, there was the mechanics. The theme was completely different. This was the predecessor of 𝐒𝐚𝐬𝐧𝐞 for 2 players. Can you imagine 𝐒𝐚𝐬𝐧𝐞 for 2 players working good in such a small grid? No, it didn't. Even a wizard like Uwe Rosenberg can be wrong with his first, second, or maybe 10th, 20th approach to a game, and he's pitching it to a publisher. Together we made it work, and we transferred a similar theme with Patchwork on this. And 𝐒𝐚𝐬𝐧𝐞, we worked on, and he published it a few years later. And it is also a hit. So, not every no, we can't do this, and no, we're not convinced this would be a good fit or a huge hit, might make this game a no. Take the feedback, take another angle, work farther. Take the game, think about it, think of another approach. And this might be it. Agricola took over 2 years, and this was only 1 year heavy play testing, week by week, until it was boom. And then it took the revised editions a few years later to optimize a lot of it. Still optimize a lot. I know not everybody is convinced the revised edition was necessary, but Uwe was, and we went there. So, yes.
You made me curious about colonists. Mm-hmm. You said that it will have a different...
No, definitely not with local games.
Oh, okay. So no, not with other team.
Not with the other team. We don't think it necessary to put another theme on such a great game. It is a great game, but it's out of print in this day.
Patchwork, you said the team is here with Queen, but you have another team on Patchwork, you have second staff, kids games, it's Patchwork Express.
Yes, it's a smaller grid with bigger tiles. And Patchwork Express was meant to be a kids game. And the editor team said, well, we'll make it a kids game. It's bigger tiles, thicker cardboard. We make it bright and shiny colors. This appeals to children. And people bought it and said, well, yes, it's okay. It even won a few odd prizes, like the 𝐥𝐿𝐴 in Germany, because of the size of the tiles and the smaller grid. It was a big hit with children age 6 who started to count, playing with their grandparents. But the pattern was... So last year we picked an idea from a board gamer, and she said, well, my kids liked the game and they played it a few times. But then it stood in the shelf and they didn't pick it any longer. So she went with, can I transform the theme? And she gave us the idea to use this as a moving van. So we made Patchwork Express in a new skin, adding a theme, a story to the game. To a fine game actually working but not selling well, because, well, we just put some color on it and said, look, it's a different pattern, it's bigger tiles, children go and play with it. This doesn't work. You have to have a story to draw the people into your game. It's either the mechanism or the story that appeals to the customer and makes you want to play this game not once after experiencing it, but, oh, let's play it again. This was fun. Oh, I want to see how this turns out if I try it with another strategy the next time. So, with adding a new theme, actually a real theme, because Patchwork Express literally had none, and adding a Stapel and Stoff, stack and stuff theme to this and putting it in a small van, and you're packing all your teddy bears and boxes and all things in, really did the trick. And not only children, and also now like this game.
I played it with my kids.
And it's selling again, which is great for both the Muller and the
I played it with my kid and it's great. Okay, if people have questions, I think we can take some questions.
Hi there, thank you. Just a curiosity, I know you get a lot of submissions, but how do designers deal with the rejection? What was the hardest rejection that you took as an editor? How the hardest way they
The hardest reaction from a designer who rejected?
Yes.
I really don't know. Of course, some take it hard, but I know my editor team and our CEO, 𝐥𝐿𝐴, take it very, very serious to give feedback. So if you can give a proper feedback why your game is not to the spot we as a studio would have wanted it to. Some great games are missing a twist, and if you tell the designer, well, we have some ideas how this could be better, and the designer refuses to listen to us, we can't work together. So these are probably the harshest situations, because you know this would be a great game with a few twists. Take 𝐿𝐴. Moving this from Scotland to Ireland was removing some of the bits he originally invented didn't make him happy. But we've been talking a lot, and eventually he said, yes, okay. And he wasn't happy with the title either. Is it Tipperary? What's Tipperary? Well, there was a famous tune in the First World War. Every English soldier was singing, and it's a long road to Tipperary. It's a long road to Tipperary. And 𝐿𝐴 didn't know. Hannah and me, we're almost the same age. We heard it a few times in our 80 years. So we knew what Tipperary was meant to be. Anybody asked, hey, what's Tipperary? Where's Tipperary? What does this mean? Has this to do with betting? Or anything? No, it's a county in Ireland. And this is a safe bet with a lookout title. We have a lot of titles there. Newsport, Glasgow, Tipperary. So actually people remember something. And this is what convinced 𝐿𝐴 to stick with it. Of course, he's bound with the contract. But if the designer doesn't feel well with all the changes and twists the publishing house does with his design, this cooperation will have to end. Because one of these two parties will be not happy with the result. And all should be happy with the result. So maybe yes, some designers are not working any longer with board games. But I don't know how they articulate that.
But we don't need Publicare.
No, not yet.
You spoke about how you sometimes reject games based on the theme, because there are other games like that. And those games can be tried on with a new theme. Do you suggest, as a publishing house, do you suggest new themes that the designer should try to implement on those games? And if so, how do you choose those themes? Or even look at games that you receive, which themes do you think right now would work?
Besides from nature picking games, you know?
And cheap, yes.
Yes, this is a trend right now, but also are the really right things and big boxes and reskinning already existing themes. I don't know if all board gamers needed Great Western Trail in the 3rd edition, but so far I've played it yet. New Zealand is great. Argentina, I'm not convinced I need this, because the original was okay. So, of course, every publishing house tries to earn money, because we're a small publishing house, we have 15 employees, all have to be fed and all have to earn their money. So we need good games for your tables you really love to play, you want to have in your home, and not only in the shelf and say, oh, I played it once and this was okay. So we know pretty much what games we like to play, and I only can speak for local games. In our team, everybody is a heavy gamer, and a game we like to play is usually a pretty good bet we can polish that way so other people might like it too. Hello Tower is a brilliant game. It was published right before COVID hit us, so it never got a proper outing or a special fair treatment. So it's a great game. Everybody who detected it loves it. Almost no rejection, but the sales are low because, yeah, too low in outings, and yeah, things happen.
So I have a question. I saw that Forest Shuffle has a smaller box than people do. I know that on the shelf in the store, bigger boxes tend to sell better, but there is a big problem now with the space in stores because there are a lot of games and not that much shelf space.
Yes.
So will there be a trend, or is it already a trend that the boxes will be a little smaller?
It's definitely a trend, if not a little bit smaller, but optimized. Au contraire to the big box where you want to have a final bundle of a series of games, which is a completely different game. Forest Shuffle actually could have been way smaller because it's a 180 card game. So, yes, it could be way smaller. But to separate all your forests on the table and so your trees don't get mixed into your neighbor's table, into a neighbor's forest, it had to be some space in the middle. So we invented the clearing together with Kosh. And the clearing had a specific size. Of course, we could have folded it smaller, but with a game you're playing lots and lots. You need a lot of table space. You need a proper material. This is what Jocurile is going for, and we wouldn't do less. So we are not button shy. We don't do 20 card games in a tiny, tiny box, which is an excellent concept. We appreciate a lot. But we want to give you a game you're very happy with in a proper box size. So Agricola with many components, big box size. Caverna, huge amount of components, big box size. But anything else has to be optimized. We learned the hard way during COVID that material was a problem. Proper cardboard for printing and the proper quality we were used to, not available. I have to wait 3 months. Okay, thank you, printer. Delayed. Cardboard to ship your boxes, not available. Delayed. Costs for material increasing. So, what shall we do? Stop publishing games? No. Optimize. So, shipping a bigger box costs way more than shipping a smaller box. But the box has to have a reasonable size for the store, for the shelf. And of course, we're thinking on your pallets too. So, this box comes with an insert. If you sleeve the cards, they won't fit in the insert, but the insert was only meant for transportation. And this game is designed to have a few expansions. So, if the expansions are there, they will fit inside this box. And you don't have to make room in your shelf for another box with a lot of air in it. So it's shelf fit inside. So this is a good thing that in production and in publishing we think ahead. Not only this is the first, most of our boxes are produced on FSC certified paper for years, but we don't want you to pay what we would have to pay to promote the FSC certified level on the box, because they make you pay for it, for something we already do. But if we want to tell it to you, we have to pay for it, and this increases the price for you, so we did not. But with Forest Shuffle, we said, okay, there we go all in. No shrink wrap, FSC certified paper with the certificate on the box, telling the customers, and since the beginning of 22, we are wrapping all our cards in paper instead of cell foil or plastic. And this is the first box not coming in shrink wrap. You can see the smaller box with paper seal. You won't do that with an Agricola Caverna box, because the box will be broken before it's in the shelves of your shop.
But it will have an expansion with sheep.
Shall fit in the box.
With sheep. With sheep.
Like, you won't find sheep in the woods.
Wild sheep. Wild sheep. Sometimes they get lost.
Sometimes they get lost, yes. Maybe there will be the odd promo card sporting sheep. Yes. Yes. We always think about sheep. That's true. More questions?
I found out that always it seems to be a problem nowadays with two-player games. Most of the publishing house refuse to publish two-player games. For instance, Amigo, as far as I know, they don't really like the idea of publishing.
Amigo has a very, very strong focus on family games, so.
There are other publishers as well. I don't
and other two. Well, Cosmos focuses on its two-player range.
Yeah, it has a special range.
Yeah, they have a special range, as does Muller. And we will keep that range. So we are specifically looking for two-player games because we know there are not only families out there. So even with a dedicated family game like Tipperary, this plays with two. And this is something our editors always keep in mind, that a family game starts with one person. So, of course, it's a family game and we don't come up with a solo version in the first print run, but we know we can rely on our fan base. So it takes usually up to 4 weeks until one of you contributes up a solo version to one of our games and posts this on BGG and other people approve. And if we are convinced, we might put it in our next customer magazine and ask you if we can do so and promote this solo version and say thank you. So, yes. But we will stick to the two-player range because we think it's important. There are not only families out there, even inside families, not all of them are players. So sometimes you need a two-player. Or a few in the shelf.
Other questions?
Yeah, I have a light question. So, was one of the reasons for switching from Scotland to Ireland because you already have a game where the action takes place in Scotland?
We have two games.
Oh,
We
right.
have two games in Scotland. Alege and Glasgow.
So that was one of the reasons?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. We thought Scotland is a very nice place to be, but yeah, way too small for 3 games from one publisher. So people might think, can they conjure up anything else but Scotland? Yeah, so that's why Ireland. And to be honest, our youngest editor, she is very fond of Ireland and was there several times. So she came up with the idea that I'll put it to Ireland. There are stone circles there, and the hills, and the sheep, and the whiskey. So, yeah, Ireland.
We have many sheep in Romania, so maybe in the future, who knows?
Great. An excellent wine, I heard.
Also.
Yeah.
We've talked a little about this yesterday, but I wanted to ask you, like, if you could talk about why kickstarting, self-publishing on Kickstarter is not such a good idea.
It takes a lot of time, effort, and money to arrange a Kickstarter being what's the proper word? Kick off perfectly. We are a team, and I can only tell you what we experienced with our Kickstarter for Grand Australian Champion Mixed Edition and the Let's Waltz expansion. It takes a whole team, and if you're on your own and anything happens to you, this is bound to fail. If one in the team drops or has anything happening to a person, this can be covered. If you're a company, you can switch track mid-game when you see the Kickstarter is not launching off. It's your own risk, go and fail. You need proper material to be successful on Kickstarter. Not every Kickstarter campaign kicks off. Some of them fail and some fail badly. So, and you never heard about the stories, how this goes with budget and finances and destroying your mood to work more on this game, which is the essence, I think, why you should think about putting it on Kickstarter. Get yourself a partner, a reliable partner, to work together. Because I can tell you, there's a lot of emails to answer, and you will hate it. And even the nice ones, they have to be answered. People drop out of your campaign. There's 1/3 of the people you won't reach after they backed your stuff. And shouldering these orders on your own, I would not advise this. It is possible. I know people who've done it. I know people who put it exactly in their Kickstarter bio and tell, hello people, I'm on my own. So if anything happens to me, you might never get what you kicked for. Take the time, develop it properly, and get all the advice for Kickstarter projects you can get from people who already did one. Get in contact with other people who did. Get advice. Get all their best practice you can get. And if you're convinced this is your way, make it.
The self-publishing is a very dangerous way to go, because we see, we go to Spiel each year and lesson, and each year we see a lot of new publishers, more about just one game. If you have only one game, it's very difficult to present it and to handle the costs of being at the lesson. And you will most probably fail.
It's not only being at Essen. You can build alliances. Look out for distribution besides launching that game on Kickstarter. Only launching it on Kickstarter to get it funded is not enough. You have to send them all out. And some come damaged. Maybe a lot of them come damaged. So the people want a replacement. And this may keep you busy for months to come. So proper partners, research, or stick with a reliable distribution partner from the beginning. So all the help you can get, all the knowledge you can grab, go for it.
Thank you. In the there were lots of abstract games, but nowadays they don't see the shelf anymore. What is the reason, as an editor point of view?
What kind of things, sorry?
Abstract games. They're not publishing that much abstract games like Hive, or most of the games have themes on them. Why is that in the years behind there were lots of abstract games?
There is a certain amount of customers who prefer them. You don't want to have every game with a theme. Some people really prefer the abstract game because it's the mechanism that clears your mind. I myself, I like abstract games. I like a nice area control like Great Plains, which actually comes with a small game attached to make it easy to the eye, with nice meeples. So people say, oh, look at these meeples. Actually, it's a very tough, abstract area control, but with a nice theme attached, so this can work. But there are players who prefer their heavy Euro game and don't go for light family game or for mid-wide Euro, because no, I'm only playing heavy Euros because this is my game. They come in all sizes and colors, so even the abstract lovers.
How important are the influencers or the YouTubers for your marketing campaigns?
Mostly valuable.
Sorry?
Mostly valuable. Because we're talking proper influencers here. Not the people writing emails, hello, I'm now 2 on Instagram and I have 300 followers and I'm doing reviews. By just posting a picture of the game and naming the publisher and maybe the designer, and some still take the text from your homepage or your catalog and copy it to their posts and consider them reviewers. We're not talking about these people, okay? We're talking about honestly hard-working reviewers who take their performance very, very responsible. This is a kind of cooperation I prefer way over any regular advertising, because it's called influencers, and this is correct, because if a person with a few thousand followers tells you frank and free, this game is crap, will you buy it? Depending on the reputation of the influencer. But if the influencer tells, reputation aside, this is crap, how many people will read this, repost, remember? But somebody said this is crap. This actually happened with Forest Shuffle. And I was struggling for 2 weeks to find the proper response to it, because it was a very, very reputable influencer who was going on for about 5 minutes, how much he loves the game, what a perfect game this is, and in one side sentence, he destroyed our whole reputation by telling, yeah, but I heard it's imbalanced, and Lookout will fix this in the second edition. It's not imbalanced. It's a game that works perfectly fine with 2, 3, 4, and 5 players. But in a 2-player game, it's a heavy metal. And yes, that's why we take 3 cards off at the beginning. And if your opponent is doing the wolf, deer, link strategy, you might be way off in points and you will never get it. But you can. And he's doing this only once, if you don't know the game properly. So people crying out, this game is broken, are a big problem. And this can be a small, so-called influencer, this can be serious, hard-working influencer, taking precious care to shed light on the game from all angles, and telling you very honestly, well, if you're into these games and you don't like push-your-luck games, this is probably not yours. If you can't stand push-your-luck, this is perfectly fine, have fun with it. So this is serious advertising game. So giving your opinion. If your best buddy tells you, hey, this is such a good game, you have to play it, you will ask him, why? And this is a question every influencer is telling, and people are not listening. They are working and listening to something and reading commands like, oh yes, if it's broken, so I'm canceling my order and I wait to the reprint, and I hope we get the cards for free, because otherwise I'm... Yeah?
So we'll repeat next week.
Yeah. So they actually took my words into consideration and they made a new video. Saying that right, because he is still convinced it's a great game, and he didn't mean to do any harm. He just remembered there was somebody saying somebody about the Lookout game need to be fixed the next print. And this wasn't Forest Shuffle. It was simply the too small bag for temporary. But this can destroy the reputation of the whole game, of the whole publisher, house, of the designer. So yes, influencers are very important. And it's very important to work with them and not against them.
I have a follow-up question. Do unprofessional influencers how many unprofessional influencers contact you?
Many.
Much more many than submissions for me.
And I still try to answer them, but I can't answer them all. Yes. Because that's the way it's done with the games. We answer every submission we get, we try to give you feedback. And the same applies to influencers, because a small influencer with 300 followers might be the next big influencer by next year, and still I can't tell him anything else as, sorry, I can't support you right now. So, yes.
Okay, so I think we are, our time is over. I want to thank you very much again for being here, and for, and I hope you like our event. And people, I saw people playing for shuffle all day, yesterday and today, all day. And I want to remind you that if you play some of the local games, these or other ones, and you post a picture on Instagram or story with tag to local games and 𝐥𝐿𝐴, you can win a copy of the big box of 𝐒𝐚𝐻 at the 15 years anniversary.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give it a hand for her.